Texas Bison's team here to Knoxville. A fun in-state battle. Tennessee and Lipscomb, a very familiar midweek battle here underway on this beautiful Tuesday midweek ball game. The lefty Dylan Loy is ready, and we're off and running. First pitch will be outside to Alex Vergara, the starting center fielder for the Bisons, and in the leadoff role, 272 hitter, 16 home runs, and 35 RBIs. Great numbers from the leadoff man. Second pitch he sees down the line and fair. It's going to be extra bases right off the bat for Lipscomb. Vergara is in at second standing. The senior goes right down the left field line. Had a massive weekend against Florida Gulf Coast in what was a series win for the Bisons at home. He had 4 hits, a pair of massive home runs, and he'll start off this afternoon a line double down the line. Just like that, a runner in scoring position for the Bisons in the top of the first to put some pressure on the freshman lefty, Dylan Loy. Get top to bottom, a lot of power threats in this Bisons lineup, a lot of experience. Mason Lundgren now stands in, and that's a 3/4 swing. 4 strike 1. Lundgren, the starting first baseman for Lipscomb, 329 hitter, 7 home runs and 28 RBIs. Loy, a check back at second. And now he'll throw over to Dean Curley, who gets to start at shortstop for Tennessee. Try to keep Vergara put. Does have good speed, 8 stolen bases on the season for Vergara. Chance for Lipscomb to take an early lead opening inning. 0-1 to Lundgren, showing bunt, pulls it back. And Lundgren occupying the second spot for the Bisons. Trace Wilhoit will bat third. Austin Kelly, the cleanup man. Will Lee at fifth, followed by David Coppage, Jacob Tobias, Carter Ritchie, and Parks Boak. Round out the lineup for Jeff Forehand. Lundgren fouls off the 1-1 pitch. 1-2 now is the count. Bison sporting their black uniforms, gray pants. Volunteers, the home side, go with the pinstripe whites. One-two pitch for Loy, got him looking. Big time punch out for Dylan Loy, first out of this ball game, and it keeps the lead runner stranded at second. Fastball outside portion. Lundgren caught looking for out number 1. It's the first strikeout for Dylan Loy, again making his 4th start of the season. That's strikeout number 19 on the year. Went once through the order, 1 through 9 against Western Carolina last Tuesday. Tennessee's midweek win over the Catamounts. Is really settling in as one of the go-to midweek pitchers for this Volunteer crew. Have a good cast around him in this midweek. Cannon Peebles catching the balls and strikes for the Volunteers. Back behind the dish at catcher. 1-0 to Trace Wilhoit, who rips one into left field. A second base hit of the inning. Quick round from third. Vergara heading home. He will score. Bisons with the early lead. That's an RBI single for Trace Wilhoit. 3 RBIs over the weekend. It's Florida Gulf Coast, wastes no time. Second pitch he saw from Dylan Loy. A rip into left. Vergara throws without a throw. And Lipscomb, 1-0 advantage early. bring up the cleanup man, Austin Kelly, who loses his bat. First pitch of this AB, it goes right into the Tennessee dugout. And there it is. Good start for this Bison's offense. Austin Kelly in the cleanup spot will look to keep it moving. 267 hitter, 9 home runs, and 47 RBIs. Again, this Lipscomb offense, really good numbers as a bunch. Returning 8 of 9 starters from a team that went to regional play last season, a team that hit 109 home runs to lead the A-Sun. So offense was expected coming into this year to be a strength. So far today, it has been. 2 hits right off the bat here in the first. Check back at first, Trace Wilhoit. Only fires in. A 0-2 start for Austin Kelly, swung right through it. Infield for Tennessee, Billy Amick starts at third. Dean Curley, man shortstop. Christian Moore is at second, and Blake Burke, typical first baseman for Tony Vitello. That's the infield. 0-2 from Lloyd, that's outside on the fastball. Outfield for Tennessee and left, Dylan Dreiling. In center field, Colby Backus gets the start, and then Reese Chapman, starting right fielder for Tony Vitello in this bunch, a team that had a fantastic defensive weekend in their sweep against Missouri. We appear to first. Wilhoit now on the move. Strike 3 swinging. Throw down from Peebles. Got him. Strike him out. Throw him out for the Vols. Defense once again stepping up for this Tennessee squad. And it's a double play to end the inning. Loy, the K. Peebles off the one hop, and a good tag from Curley. Ends the top of the first. Bisons, they go up early, put a bit of SEC. That's 4th in the nation, and it's led, spearheaded by Christian Moore, who has to jump right out of the way of pitch number 1 from Ryan Kutz, the starter for Lipscomb. Right-hander Ryan Kutz, 5th-year man out of Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, will make his 7th start of the season. And he shaves Moore right off home plate there, pitch number 1. Second pitch inside again, backs Moore away. And that might have caught him, it did. So Christian Moore, after getting 2 pitches well inside, second one grazed him. And he will trot to first base. So a painful way to start for this Tennessee lineup. That's Christian Moore. He'll be followed by Blake Burke to stand in. Billy Amick also due up this inning. Another look at the pitch inside that caught Moore. So just caught him right there on the sleeve as he turned out of the way. But one aboard already for Tennessee, no outs. Blake Burke will stand in. Dylan Dreiling will be the cleanup man for Tennessee. Dean Curley, Reese Chapman, Colby Backus, Cannon Peebles, and then Dalton Bargo to round out the order. Bargo, the designated hitter for Tennessee. And a 2-0 start to Blake Burke. 4 pitches, 4 outside the zone for Ryan Kutz. In the 5th year, he's a graduate transfer from Davidson. His first season with the Bisons. That 2-0, shot in the air, found territory. The shift was on to the right side, so not too many bodies over there on the left end, and that goes foul. Blake Burke, .386 average on the season. He's been fantastic in his junior year. 14 home runs, 39 RBIs as well, coming off a series, though, in which he only got 1 hit against Missouri. Production-wise, in the hit column, one of his fewest in a series this season. He has been fantastic up to that point. 31-game hit streak came to a close in that Thursday night opener against the Tigers. But what a stretch it was for him. Surpassed Condridge Holloway Legend who had his number out on the left field wall. 27-game hit streak is where Holloway was at. Blake Burke surpassed it. Moore on the move on the 3-1. That's fouled away. Full count coming up. It'll send Christian Moore all the way back. Cuts his toss into Austin Kelly, the catcher for the Bisons. That's the battery. Lipscomb now trying to preserve a early 1-0 advantage. Check back at Moore, who does have some speed. Just one stolen base this year. It's Mason Lundgren at first, holding him on. Three-two. Moore takes off. That's ball 4. So 2 volunteers on to begin. Christian Moore hit by a pitch, and then Blake Burke takes ball 4 on a 3-2 count. Good patience for Burke, and it's going to set up Billy Amick with an early opportunity. The 3-hole hitter for the Volunteers has been fantastic his first season on Rocky Top. .351 average, 16 home runs, and 42 RBIs. He'll bat with 2 on and no one out. And now be a meeting on the mound with Ryan Kutz. The power, but also with discipline at the plate. Make you pay in a lot of ways. 121 team home runs that leads the SEC. Now second in the nation. Hit 6 of them in their win Thursday night. Game 1 against Missouri, but then did not have a single home run the next 2 days. 0-1, Amick does go around, strike 2. Now Kutz is in command for the first time in a count today. Here's the 0-2 pitch, Amick. That's in the air, shallow right field, rushing over. Bauk, it's going to drop in for a hit. Fell in no man's land. The bases are now loaded as the throw comes into home. Amick sneaks a hit into right field. First 3 Volunteers to stand in aboard. That's one of those that Amick just almost punches into right field, battles it there, and that is just a tough play. Parker Bauk running all the way from second. Didn't have quite the angle maybe he wanted. Will Lee out in right, did not call him off. The bases are loaded with no outs. Plenty of opportunity early. Dylan Dreiling, first pitch, swinging. That throw is bounced to second. Everyone is safe, and a run scores. Dylan Dreiling is going to tie up this ball game. Hard hit ground ball pays off. Christian Moore able to score. Amick hustled down to second. Bauk on the dive, made a good effort at it, but the throw just spiked into the turf. It kept everyone safe, everyone advanced. The Volunteers have tied this game at 1. Go down as an RBI single for Dylan Dreiling. Base is still loaded now for Dean Curley. This Volunteer team, again, 121 team home runs. 10 of those have been grand slams. They're 1 grand slam away from breaking an SEC single season record for grand slams in a season. Opportunity now for the freshman shortstop. Curley on the ground. Potential double play ball. Flip to second for 1. Over to first. And that's 2. So the double play ball for the Bisons. Tennessee does add in another run, as that's only out number 1 and 2. So Volunteers take a 2-1 lead. And if you're Lipscomb there, you're going to take that. Bases loaded, no outs. Get the 2 outs. You'll sacrifice the 1 run there. Good get from Ryan Kutz. As Curley goes down on the double play, does not get credited with the RBI. Runner still on third. Tennessee with 2 runs here in their opening inning at the plate. Reese Chapman will get an at-bat. Gets to start out in right field, 344 hitter, 4 home runs, and 25 RBIs his sophomore season. Sophomore from Parker, Colorado, 1 hit and 3 at-bats in the Missouri season. Missouri series, 258 average in SEC play. That is roped to right above the head of Lee, who makes a leap and makes a catch right there at the warning track to end the inning. So the Volunteers threatened a couple noon at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Tennessee has been fantastic in midweek games this season, 11 wins and no losses. Bison's putting a bit of pressure on the Volunteers early, 1 run in the top of the first. Be 5, 6, 7 to due up in the second frame to face Dylan Loy for the first time. Only gave up 2 hits in the first inning, but fired back with 2 strikeouts. And then it was the strike him out, throw him out that capped off that first inning. So it was a good exclamation point to leave off from Dylan Loy. Now 1-2 start for Will Lee, who made the play out in right field to end the home half of the first. Will Lee, 281 hitter, 5 home runs, and 22 RBIs. Will try to jumpstart this inning for Lipscomb. That 1-2 pitch outside. Count now even. Lee, a senior out of Klein, Texas. No hits in the Florida Gulf Coast Series. Getting a series win for Lipscomb this past weekend. That 2-2 inside now, count full. Lefty-righty matchup to start. The full count pitch from Lloyd. That's popped high in the air. Blake Burke right at his own bag has it. And that's out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for Dylan Loy. Tennessee now 15 wins in SEC play. They're really in quite the groove. They've won 10 of their last conference games, 6 consecutive wins now. Count the final 2 in Lexington to win that top 5 series against Kentucky. A midweek win last week against Western Carolina, then the sweep against Missouri. A 10-1 win Thursday, and then a couple of close games to round out that series. 3-2 both on Friday and Saturday. It was the first installment for Tennessee of a Thursday through Saturday series. Bit of a change-up as David Coppage ropes that fastball up the middle. That is the 3rd base hit for this Lipscomb offense now, early in just the 2nd inning. Coppage has been fantastic for the Bisons of recent. He punched that one right up the middle, 4 hits and 10 at-bats against Florida Gulf Coast over the weekend. And he's aboard with 1 out here in the inning. Jacob Tobias now standing in the 7th spot, 242 hitter, 2 home runs and 16 RBIs. Thought about the off-speed, lays off. And Tennessee again will get a Thursday through Saturday series. This is their final home game of this stretch, in which they've now played 5 consecutive at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. To go on the road. Gainesville, Florida Gators up next. Another really important series as we're getting to the back stretch. 3 more series for both of these teams in conference play. In both Lipscomb and Tennessee, much to play for, lots on the line. Tennessee just 1 game back now of Kentucky and Arkansas at the top of the SEC standings. And that's an intriguing matchup in itself this weekend. Kentucky hosting Arkansas, both tied for the top. Best record in the SEC, with Tennessee and Texas A&M very close behind. That 2-0 pitch home is fouled away. 2-1 now to Jacob Tobias. Now, Lipscomb on the other end, they also have been really good in conference play. They've won 5 straight conference series. They are coming off one against Florida Gulf Coast where they really had to battle. They lost the first one. Held on for a 7-6 win on Saturday. And then another 7-6 win on Sunday. Held off a comeback on Saturday and then rallied to a 7-6 win on Sunday. That's ripped down the line and foul. Tobias just nearly an extra base hit. 2-2 count now. The Bisons, they're 6th in the A-Sun standings, 4 games out of first place in Jacksonville. And the top 4 teams are the ones to advance to the postseason tournament. That's going to be hosted by Stetson. Lipscomb 3 games back from a top 4 bid. And again, Bison's looking to defend their regular season title and their tournament title. Got to the Clemson Regional last season, joining this Tennessee team. Another look back at first. Coppage with 3 stolen bases on the year. Two-two pitch. That's off the knob of the bat. Picked up from Loy just short of the mound. Throw on to first is in time for out number 2. It does advance the runner. Coppage now in scoring position. So it'll be up to Carter Ritchie to try to tie this game up early. The tying run now at second. Carter Ritchie, the designated hitter for the Bisons. Team with already 3 hits in this one. They've come out swinging. Ritchie, the junior from Chandler, Arizona, 286 average, 1 home run, and 8 RBIs. Gets the nod to be the DH here in Knoxville. And the first pitch is a strike. A run from Lloyd. That's fouled. Looks like off the leg of Ritchie. That'll be a foul ball. 0-2. Lloyd a pitch away from getting out of the second here. Again, 3 strong innings last week. He allowed 3 earned runs against the Catamounts. 1 through 1 in 2/3 now, but 2 strong strikeouts to close the first. Looking to do so here now in the second. In command, 0-2 is the count. And that's fouled back. I asked Lloyd to pitch a bit more innings last week. You know, sometimes in midweek games you see the starter maybe get 1, maybe 2, but Lloyd went an extra inning. Again, last week the first time Tennessee had to turn around from a Friday-Sunday series, play a midweek game, and then play another on Thursday. So didn't have quite the available arms that they might have this week or in midweeks prior. First game for Tennessee since Saturday. They had the rare Sunday off this past weekend. Loy now a check back to second. So you should have more pitchers available, given that bullpen did really well, starters did really well this weekend against Missouri. But also have to consider your first game on the road in Gainesville is Thursday. Have to be careful how many pitches you let some of the guys go that you plan to use early in that series. Here's the 0-2, Loy home, and that's low, ball 1. You could stop from Peebles as the sun shining a bit brighter now. It was a cloudy start. Some clouds throughout, but the sun brightly poking its way through here. 71 degrees here in inning number 2. It was raining earlier today in Knoxville. It's cleared up. Lloyd looks back at second. Count 1-2. That pitch home is low again. Peebles has to block it. Carter Ritchie trying to work the count with 2 outs. Runner is Coppage at second, who singled right up the middle for hit number 3 for this Bison's team. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's high in the air. Very playable for Reese Chapman out in right field. No problem with the sun from that angle, and he's got it. Splashes into his mitt, and it's a scoreless effort for Dylan Lloyd. Johnson City, Tennessee. 429 hitter, 4 home runs and 10 RBIs. Has been very impressive in midweek games this year. Wastes no time here in start number 2 as he sends one off the wall in left, slides in for a double to lead off the second. Colby Backus has some pop in the bat, and he has been having some fun on these Tuesday midweek games. A great way to start the second. Tennessee offense now with 3 hits in the game. That ball just kept on moving towards the wall. And a runner on and in scoring position to begin. 7-8-9, that was Backus. Cannon Peebles now stands in. It'll be followed by Dalton Bargo to round out this Tennessee batting order. Cannon Peebles gets to start at catcher. Start number 24 for him. 244 hitter. 1 home run and 19 RBIs, but coming off a big first. He launched his first home run as a volunteer, the 8th inning of Game 1 against Missouri. That was one that he has been waiting for a while. And a highly touted transfer out of NC State. 12 homers a season ago, 50 RBIs, but has just been waiting to find that groove. The volunteer uniform and maybe seeing that first one go over the fence could get him going at the plate. Slaps that one foul. Up until that point, had been struggling. He was 2 of 28 in SEC play up until that home run. Didn't have any starts against Kentucky in that series in Lexington, and then that 1AB is only outing against Missouri. That 1-2 outside. RBI chance for him here now in the second. Peebles, a guy that just works at his game so much. Tony Vitello said was out there with Kavar Steers till 10:15 Wednesday night. As Peebles sends that one high into center field. Backus was moving. He has to retreat to second, and it's caught by Vergara. Out number 1, Peebles retired. That's the first down for Ryan Kutz, the righty still on the mound for Lipscomb. As he's about to get through this Tennessee lineup once, Dalton Bargo rounds things out for the Volunteers. 1 down in the inning, runner in scoring position. Bargo, the Missouri transfer, just faced his former team this past weekend. Hitting .299 on the year, 6 home runs and 24 runs batted in. Good power bat from the left side. No hits in that series against his former team. He got a start in Game 2 as a designated hitter. And has been a solid utility man for this Tennessee team. Guy who can play catcher. Played the hot corner when Billy Amick was out. Could play outfield. And of course, obviously can slot into a DH role. A lot of pieces that Tony Vitello can play with this offense. Again, it was a fantastic start to the Missouri series. 6 home runs, tied a season high. It was dominant through and through against the Tigers. At the time, it was their 4th straight game with 4 or more home runs, and then it went a bit quiet the final 2 games. No home runs the rest of the weekend. That's just the 3rd and 4th time that Tennessee's offense has been held without a home run all season. Missouri came back out with a little more energy on the mound, and Tennessee bats not as lively as they were in that first game at least. But they can beat you in other ways too. Dalton Bargo, well-earned walk there. There's a lot of power in this lineup, but patience and disciplined at-bats can add up if you elect not to pitch to them. Josh Elander, the hitting coach, third base coach for Tennessee. Him and Tony Vitale, fantastic pair. The way they were able to get guys to adjust based on the pitcher, situation, battling with 2 strikes, taking a walk like Bargo just did. And that's what makes this team top to bottom difficult. It's not just the power, it's everything rolled into one. And you walk a guy like Bargo, you have to now face one of the best hitters in the country in Christian Moore. Shoots one into right, playable for Lee. And he's got it. So Christian Moore retired. Backus will tag up and head to third. Runners on the corners now for Tennessee with 2 outs. That is a big get for Ryan Cutts. That will retire Christian Moore quickly and send up Blake Burke, who needs a base hit to bring in another run for Tennessee. Again, Burke coming off a series against Missouri in which he struggled, but it has not been a struggle for him all season long. He's got the team lead in average. He's third in on-base percentage, third in slugging, fourth in RBIs, and fourth in home runs. He's one of the best pure hitters in this lineup. And at times last season was a bit slow in SEC series. Just hit 211 in SEC play. So to make that jump now to where you're hitting 390 in SEC games is unbelievable. You don't see the swing and miss as much. He has been able to hit to both sides of the field. Well, teams will still put a shift on him like Lipscomb is now. We've seen it several times not matter. Counts 0-2. Cuts out in front. That pitch is going to miss. And Bargo just sneaks over to second. Bargo got 3/4 of the way there and thought about sliding and then realized Austin Kelly wasn't going to make a throw. Two in scoring position now for Blake Burke. Counts 1-2. That pitch home misses. Good eye from Blake Burke. Burke and Billy Amick have apparently worked pretty close with one another. Amick giving Burke pointers, Burke to Amick as well. They both have been a great 1-2 punch in this Tennessee lineup. That 2-2 ripped the opposite way. It's off the glove of Coppage, and it scoots into center field. 2 runs are going to score from the hard hit line drive on the ground from Blake Burke. Tennessee adds on here in the second. The shift was on again, but Blake Burke has shown he can put it to both sides of the field. Coppage, the third baseman, there in no man's land all by himself, has to make a play out of his range. And it takes a hit off his glove in just a no man's land center field. 2 runs easily going to score off that. And Blake Burke delivers again after a series where he had just 1 hit. Good for him to drive in a pair. It's going to go down as a double. No error on the tough play from Coppage. 2 RBI double in the books for Blake Burke. And Tennessee by 3 runs now. Billy Amick back in. He is 1 for 1. He singled in the first. He's got that average up to 356 now. Amick 5 hits and 13 at-bats against Missouri. Had 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. Both those home runs came in Game 1's win, 10-1 win. And that came after he had a 2 home run game this time last week against Western Carolina. This one will be a pop fly second base way. And Bauk has it for the final out. But Blake Burke does a bit of damage. The right-hander, 6'4", 250, will stand on the mound to face 9-1-2 in this Lipscomb lineup. A fastball 94 miles an hour delivered from Phillips to start. Phillips has, again, now making his 12th appearance, an 0.82 ERA in 11 innings thrown this season. Fantastic in the limited outings. 10 strikeouts and 7 walks on his line. A lot of talent, but just building up more and more experience. Pitched 2 innings last midweek against Western Carolina and was fantastic. Only blemish was a walk, no hits allowed. That's ripped over to third. Billy Amick is there. Right off the line, makes the snag. That's a hard hit ball from Parks Bauk. Billy Amick, though, has it covered. One up, one down for Marcus Phillips. Phillips has mostly pitched in non-conference games and midweeks, except for closing down the series in Lexington against Kentucky. Got the final out to secure a series win. Transfer from Iowa Western Community College at JUCO. Pitched just 12 1/3 on that year. Missed a lot of time with an injury. But obviously a lot of buzz with that arm. That fastball sitting around 94 to start. Got a good slider as well. Get the feeling you might see him in some big innings down the stretch for Tennessee. That pitch is launched down the left field line. Alex Vergara sends this one way, way out of here. That clears the porch. Home run number 17 for Alex Vergara. This Bison's team, a lot of pop in this lineup, and they showed it right there. Lipscomb will bring one back within 2 runs now here in the third. It's now a 2-for-2 afternoon for Alex Vergara, a double in the first, and he knew it right off the bat. A little road bat flip. And he's continuing what has been a fantastic stretch, and now Lundgren on the ground. Dean Curley throw to first in time for round number 2. And Vergara now making 3 straight games for Alex Vergara, the senior, with a home run. He had a grand slam on Sunday and then a 3-run home run on Saturday. That grand slam was a go-ahead grand slam in the 4th inning. So Alex Vergara absolutely on fire. It adds a run for Lipscomb as they bring it back within 2. Lundgren is the second out. And now Trace Wilhoit back in. Bulk of this order now for the Bisons. Wilhoit 1 for 1. Singled and scored a run back in the first. This one high in the air. Playable for Reese Chapman and right. He's got it. That's out number 3. So it's a quick inning for Marcus Phillips, but bit of damage from Alex Vergara, who launches his 17th home run on the year. That leads this Tennessee team. He has stepped up big at some clutch spots. He shows bunt and cannot lay it down. It goes foul. A heavy shift on for Dylan Dreiling. And the shift was on his last time up. It didn't matter. You can see Coppage playing in. Shallow at third. Only one over there on the left side. Now Dreiling lays off 1-1. Ryan Cutts still on the mound. Cutts 2 innings. He's allowed 4 runs. Tennessee's offense 2 runs in each inning so far at the plate. And that 1-1 is outside. Dreiling slots into the cleanup spot. Kavaris Tears gets the day off in this midweek. And Tennessee will be right back at it in 2 days' time against Florida. Dreiling has worked the count in his favor. 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, Tennessee is a team they've walked twice, and they've been hit by a pitch as well. A couple of free passes in the early going. That 3-1 is fouled away. So far, a lot of offense through 2.5, 6 combined runs. Lipscomb keeping pace. Volunteers by a pair of runs. Dreiling punches one away. Tennessee 75 wins, just 10 losses in midweek games under Tony Vitello. Tony Vitello 4 wins, 1 loss against Lipscomb as a head coach of the Volunteers. The Bisons actually got a win in Knoxville in 2021 as Dreiling sends one high in the air. Lundgren in foul territory makes the play. Out number 1. 1 up, 1 down. Tennessee leads this series between in-state schools, 13 wins, 2 losses. But yeah, Lipscomb got that 1 win in Knoxville back in 2021. It was a 4-1 victory for Lipscomb, a season in which Tennessee went to the College World Series. And the Bisons, led by Jeff Forehand in his 18th season with the program, back-to-back ASUN Coach of the Year. Fresh off a double trophy season, regular season and tournament. Had 23 wins in ASUN play last season. Dean Curley back in. Quickly down 0-2. He grounded into a double play back in the first. We'll fight off the 0-2 pitch. Tennessee won this matchup last season. Again, a pretty common midweek. Tennessee won 10-0 on March 14th. They hit 3 home runs as a team. And that 0-2, Curley goes down swinging, cuts his first strikeout. Quick 2 up, 2 down start here in the third. Cuts got in some trouble early in this start, but has begun to settle in. He hit the first batter he faced and then walked the next. And then allowed a pair of singles following. So the first 4 Volunteers reached, but has been able to at least keep Lipscomb within firing distance here in the third. And now a quick 2 outs in the inning. Reese Chapman back in. He's 0 for 1. Start number 20 for the sophomore. 1 hit against Missouri this past weekend. Has become a good option for Tennessee. Conference games can go either in right field or as the DH. Limited action last year as a freshman, but showing good life in the bat this year. Good production. Has made good defensive plays in the outfield as well. Counts 2-1 to Chapman. Chapman on the ground into the shift off this slide. Bout can't cleanly grab it. And Chapman's aboard. That's going to be a single. A couple times where Lipscomb's had to shift on, but that hit is just right in between the second baseman and the shortstop of the shift. And both Bauk and Wilhoit went diving after that ball. And Chapman will take it. It'll be a single right through the right side into the shallow right field. Now Chapman on the loose. The throw down a bit too high. Reese Chapman has stolen his second base of the season. Now just like that, Tennessee a runner in scoring position now. Colby Backus, the hot hand in these midweeks. An RBI chance. The throw just a bit high from Austin Kelly. At 0-1 inside, Backus doubled to lead off the second inning and then came across to score on the Blake Burke double. He has that average up to .455. That's 10 hits and 22 at-bats. Has certainly earned these last two midweek starts in the last 2 weeks. Taking advantage of every opportunity, has made great plays defensively as well. Get another chance here this afternoon. Counts 2-1 to him now. And Backus out in front of the off-speed from Cutts. Cutts a strike away from keeping Tennessee scoreless for the first time this afternoon. 2 runs every single inning thus far for the number 3 ranked team in the country. 2-2. And downswing goes Backus. Cutts a pair of strikeouts in the inning. Holds Tennessee in the 4th. Austin Kelly will start us off. First pitch fouled off, 94 on the fastball from Marcus Phillips. Pitching staff for Tennessee really got it done this past weekend. Allowed just 5 total runs against Missouri. And the bullpen was monumental, getting that sweep. 1 run for the bullpen in 13 innings. 11 strikeouts from that bunch. They're also called upon for several key defensive plays. Kirby Connell shut down that game, too, with 3 defensive plays in which he had to run off the mound. Crucial 1-run ball game. It's a Tennessee pitching staff that has relied on a lot of these veteran arms, like Kirby Connell there in his 5th year. It has been veteran over inexperienced, certainly at this point. You got to go with guys that have been there and done that, especially in SEC play and in postseason play, and that's what we've seen from this Tennessee pitching staff. And a guy like Marcus Phillips still trying to add up innings. Hopefully we're going to get in that rotation as the season moves along. At 2-2, strike 3 swinging. Austin Kelly will go down for the first down. And a good pitch for Marcus Phillips on for his 2nd inning of work. Fastball. Some downward movement. And no chance Kelly was going to pick that one off the ground. Second time Kelly's gone down with a strikeout. Will Lee back in. He's 0 for 1. Pop fly back in the 2nd. First pitch is a strike. Another fastball from Marcus Phillips. As Tennessee has a pitching staff, 3.79 team ERA. That's 2nd in the SEC, 7th nationally. Which you feel like is a sneaky number for Tennessee. They've only allowed about 3.5 runs per game over their last 3 SEC series. This pitching staff, who, the storyline was maybe not as much depth as years past. When you lose a guy like A.J. Russell to injury early, you start worrying about the depth. But this pitching staff has been very underrated numbers-wise. Helps when you've got a strong defense behind you making plays. I start to think when A.J. Russell does re-enter the mix, how important that's going to be down the stretch for Tennessee. The feeling is the bullpen has been strong. You like what you're doing on game 1s with Stamos as the opener, Kazi coming in behind him. That's a combo that certainly worked against Missouri. Drew Beam, maybe his best start of the season in game 2. He pitched 7 1/3, struck out 8. And Xander Sechrist has had the ability of late to provide a good bulk of innings on Sunday. Sechrist was hit in the hand early and then retired 10 of his next 11. Will Lee will take the shot to first. It follows the strikeout, so Phillips a strikeout and now a walk here in the 4th. Runner on for the Bisons. I'll bring up David Coppage. He's 1 for 1. He singled up the middle back in the 2nd. Coppage has been the hot hand for this Bison's offense. Again, the strength of this Lipscomb team. Coppage leads the group in average in conference play, 383. Over 500 on base percentage as well. Been a breakout season for the junior. Check back at first. Lee with 2 stolen bases. Right fielder will get back in time. There's the 1-0 from Phillips. Ripped down the line. That's a fair ball. That gets away from Amick, who gave a good dive on it. Holding up at third is Lee. It's going to be a double. David Coppage now 2 for 2, and the Bisons have the tying run in scoring position. And one of the hottest hitters on this team can hit for average. And that one was a shot right down the line. Amick's a good defender. Was hit hard enough to where he couldn't get his glove on it. And just right there into the corner. And with just 9 starters from a team that went to the Clemson Regional last season, won 23 conference games. A big moment here for Jacob Tobias. Phillips, fresh after the mound meeting, hums in the fastball for strike one. Jacob Tobias 0 for 1. A ground out back in the second. Real RBI chance here for him. 16 of them on the season. 0-1. On the ground. Is it there? It is. It's down the right field line, and it's going to score 2 for the Bisons. This game is all tied. Jacob Tobias delivers. That's the second straight down the line. Coppage went third base way, and Tobias ground ball right field first base way, and that's about as close as you can get right over the bag. And it brings in 2 with them. Clutch piece of hitting for Jacob Tobias, and he evens things up here in the 4th. That is 3 unanswered runs now for Lipscomb. And a chance still with just 1 out to take a lead. Carter Ritchie will stand in 0 for 1. Fly out back in the second. Well, Phillips trying to bounce back. And pitched 2 innings against Western Carolina. And did not allow a run. And just 1 walk was his only blemish, but here now he's allowed 3 runs through an inning and a third. See how he can battle back after a couple of key Bison's hits. He'll find the zone with the slider. 1-2 count, still Justin out of the inning. Designated hitter Ritchie standing in. That's fouled back. We'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ritchie, a solid .545 hitter with runner in scoring position. And just 8 RBIs on the season. Right now, the bottom of this lineup for Lipscomb in the inning, producing. 1-2 goes chasing on the fastball, up and in. And Phillips has himself his second punch out. Much needed there for Marcus Phillips. Last 3 Bisons had reached base and able to go up, throw the high heat, and grab out number 2. So now to the bottom of this lineup, Parks Bauk will hit the go-ahead run on second. Bauk 0 for 1, hit a hard line drive over to Billy Amick last time around. Second baseman, 17 RBIs on the season. 237 with runners in scoring position. Bison's looking for a big 2-out base hit here. They haven't had one so far in the early going with 2 outs. The Bisons, as a team now, 6 hits already in this ball game. 3 2/3 standing in the box. Really good offensive production we've seen top to bottom so far from the visitors. Here's the 0-2 from Phillips. Got him swinging. Marcus Phillips does strike out the side. But the Bisons, they have charged back to even this game. 2 RBI double from Jacob to 3 unanswered runs. In the 3rd and 4th, a solo home run from Alex Vergara, and then a 2 RBI double from Jacob Tobias. Have evened things up. We'll see the Volunteer offense can respond here in the home half of the inning. We'll have 8, 9, and 1 up to the plate. That's Cannon Peebles, Dalton Bargo, and Christian Moore. Peebles is 0 for 1, a flyout back in the second. He gets the start at the catcher spot for Tennessee. Hit a home run against Missouri, his first home run of the season. Get a good chance to jumpstart his year at the plate. Led the NC State Wolfpack. .352 average last season, was a freshman All-American. And that's a rip. Second base way off the glove of Bauk. Can he stay with it? Yes. Throw over to first is in time for out number 1. And you have to give a lot of credit right now to Ryan Cutts out on the mound for Lipscomb. He's thrown 3 1/3. And he certainly has been taking some lumps out on the mound. Tennessee put up 4 runs in the first 2 innings, but a scoreless 3rd, and now 1 quick out in the 4th. He's really settled in, and his offense has backed him up in a big way. And your goal as a starter, especially, you're on the road going up against the top 5 team in the country, is you just want to give your guys a shot. And that's certainly what Cutts has done. He's maybe taken a deep breath, settled in a bit. Had 2 strikeouts last inning. And now ahead in the count with Dalton Bargo. No balls, 2 strikes. Bargo walked and later scored in the 2nd inning. And that's important for Cutts with these Tennessee hitters. You can stay out in front and limit free passes. Bargo roped right field. Shift is not a problem. It's going to one-hop the wall in right. Bargo rounding first for second. He slides in. That's a 1-out double. It was a heavy shift down the right side for Bargo. When you hit the ball that hard, it does not matter. It takes a hop off the short wall near the Tennessee bullpen. Nearly a ground rule double. Won't matter. It's a double either way for Dalton Bargo, the 9-hole hitter in scoring position. The go-ahead run here with 1 out in the 4th. Back to the top of this Tennessee order. Christian Moore now in. 3rd time he's faced Ryan Cutts as he fouls off pitch number 1. He's 0 for 1, Christian Moore is. He was hit by a pitch in the 1st, then a fly out back in the 2nd. Moore has been almost unstoppable at the plate. It's been one of the hardest outs, I'd say, in the country. 6 hits and 11 at-bats against Missouri. Hit a home run in game 1 in the 1st inning. And this one's in the air. It's a fly ball into the gap in left field. Vergara is there. He's got it. Bargo will tag from second. It'll get from second to third, so productive out in terms of advancing the runner. But Moore will be the second out here of the inning. So Christian Moore falls to 0-2, and now it'll be up to Blake Burke again to bring in a run. Burke has already done a bit of damage. He walked and scored a run in the 1st, and then a 2 RBI double for him in the 2nd inning gave Tennessee a further advantage, and that's the last time Tennessee has put runs on the board, back in the 2nd with Burke at the plate. Another chance to do so here with 2 outs in the inning. Burke laying bunt down. Third baseline and foul. And the shift is on, so Burke maybe trying to be sneaky and put one down the third baseline with no one there. Just a little bit too much on it. And that whole left side is wide open for Blake Burke. Seen a couple of Volunteers attempt that bunt down the line for a hit. Unsuccessful so far. Now here's the 0-1, and that's golfed into straightaway center, but right at Vergara. Did not have to move a muscle, and that's the final out of the inning. So another scoreless shot helped lead a now 3 unanswered stretch now for the Bisons. They tied things up an inning ago. Vergara now 2 for 2 on his line, a double in the first, and that home run in the third. He leads things off now in the fifth. It has been an impressive stretch of days for him. Grand slam, go-ahead grand slam that ended up being the difference in the series against Florida Gulf Coast on Sunday, then the 3-run homer on Saturday. So 3 straight games with a home run for Alex Vergara. It'll be 1-2-3, and it'll be Andrew Behnke on the mound for the Volunteers. The lefty will take over for Marcus Phillips here in the fifth. Vergara, straightaway center. It's hit well. Backus is back at the track, at the wall. It's off the batter's eye. Vergara has done it again. A 2-home run afternoon, and the Bisons once again have the lead. You cannot stop Alex Vergara right now. 3 for 3 with 3 extra base hits. And that is a pair of solo home runs. And the leadoff man ignites Lipscomb back in front. 4 unanswered now for the visitors. That was straight away center to welcome Andrew Behnke into this ball game. Impressive shot. Now Behnke will try to get ahead of Mason Lundgren. He does to start. Lundgren 0 for 2. Behnke making his 13th outing on the year. 2.57 ERA entering this outing with 14 innings thrown on the year. He got good strikeout numbers in 14 innings. 20 strikeouts and 3 walks. Certainly not the way he envisioned hopping into this game. 0-2 count to Lundgren. That's inside. Behnke's last outing in the midweek last week against Western Carolina. 3 strikeouts in 2 innings. Only allowed 1 hit, no runs, no walks. And 1-2 outside. Count now even, 2-2. No outs in the inning. Lipscomb by a run here in the top of the 5th. That 2-2 is outside, so the count now full for Andrew Behnke and Mason Lundgren. Lundgren was down 0-2 in the count, has now worked it full. Good battle. No outs in the inning. Behnke will run this pitch in and hit Lundgren. So first 2 aboard for Lipscomb. Obviously, Alex Vergara did not stick around long. But Mason Lundgren is on first as he takes one off the shoulder. 1 through 9 for Lipscomb that has been dangerous. 7 hits as a team, now 5 runs, a pair of home runs for Alex Vergara. And the top half has been productive, and the bottom half has been productive. So a lot of positives so far for the visiting Bisons, who hold the advantage. Now Trace Wilhoit back in. And he shrugs away that fastball from Behnke to start. Behnke has been a solid option for Tennessee out of the bullpen this season. His sophomore year. He dealt with some injury first 2 months of his freshman season last year. Missed a lot of time. Was good in the few midweeks he was in last season. The numbers have been good so far. So far for Banky, though, Lipscomb proving difficult. Vergara, the home run, and then Lundgren. Banky was ahead in the count. It was no ball, two strike situation. Lundgren worked it full and then was hit by the pitch. The Bison's top to bottom just extremely veteran. If it's not a guy who's made over 150 starts for the Bison, it's a guy who is a fifth year or a JUCO transfer who have played a lot of collegiate baseball, a lot of experience in this Lipscomb lineup top to bottom. Will Hoyt will take strike one. You know, Will Hoyt is one of those with a lot of experience. 162 career games started. Second team All-ASUN last season. Bison's all-time leading home run hitter in program history. He's got 49 of them. His three-year career at Lipscomb. He's 2 away from tying his season high of 17, and got 17 both in 22 and 23. Banky back to first. Lundgren with 5 stolen bases on the year. Another check at first. Will Hoyt had a home run on Sunday that cut into Florida Gulf Coast lead, a 3-run homer. He's got 3 combined home runs in the team's last 2 ASUN weekends. 15 of them on the year. This one hit well to left field. It's going to bag Dreiling back towards the wall, and he's got it at the warning track. And that's the first out here in the 5th. Hard hit ball just stays in the park. It's hit on a line from Will Hoyt. Will Hoyt now 1 for 3. And I'll bring up Austin Kelly, the cleanup man, looking to get things going at the plate. He's 0 for 2, a pair of strikeouts on his line. Banky's pitch away to start Austin Kelly. Kelly, .263 average now, 9 home runs and 47 RBIs, good numbers. The catcher in the cleanup role. And he lays off that off speed from Banky. Kelly fouls this one away, 2-1. And the Bison certainly have been tested this season. They have an 11-10 record in ASUN play, but overall record just 15 wins, 27 losses. They have played a very difficult non-conference schedule this year. That early non-conference series with Alabama and Kentucky. And then obviously with the midweek here, they've also played a pair of midweeks against Louisville and then Vanderbilt. So the Bisons have really loaded up the schedule. Obviously with the goal to, help them out in ASUN play and help them out in games like this. Already played 7 SEC games this year. That ball is up the middle. Banky to second for 1. Curley adjusts. Throw to first, though, will get away. Banky's throw to Curley just a little bit off target, and it took him a bit out of rhythm. We'll have to live with just 1 out on that play. They get Lundgren the lead runner, so Banky almost sent that one into center field, and then Austin Kelly would have beaten that one out regardless. So that's the second out. Kelly will now take Lundgren's spot at first and send Will Lee back to the plate. Lee is 0 for 1, a pop out in the second, and then he walked and later scored in the 4th. Pitch in from Banky outside. A deep breath from the sophomore lefty. He'll check over at first. The sun's starting to set here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Not really any sun in effect on the playing surface. It's starting to hit that dusk time. Make fly balls a bit harder to field. That one goes up the middle, and Christian Moore will step on his own bag. That ends the top of the fifth. Alex Vergara strikes going. It is now 4 unanswered for the Bison's offense, and now we'll see if Tennessee can respond. They've got the heart of this order. 3, 4, 5 due up. Amick, Dreiling, and Curling. Amick, dead center. Vergara backing up at the wall. Oh, he made the play. Crashing into dead center. What can't he do this afternoon? He lost the shades and everything. Amick, a rocket to dead center. It was just shy of getting out of here. And Vergara, awareness, dealt with the wall. No big deal. Maybe a bit sore. And he has done a little bit of everything. A pair of home runs. He hit the batter's eye last inning, and now robs Billy Amick of a big hit to start this inning. 1 up, 1 down. Ryan Cutts still in the game. He's pitched 4 1/3 now, and he's in a groove. Back-to-back scoreless frames. And you think just back to the bottom of the first, Tennessee had 1 run already on the board, no outs, and bases loaded, and you thought, uh-oh. This offense that's one of the best in the country is about to explode early. Here's Dreiling again. Dead center. Vergara back once more. Oh, my goodness. He did it again. Back-to-back wall-crashing catches in center for Alex Vergara. I have never seen anything like this. I mean, it's one thing to make, 2-in-1 game against the wall, but back-to-back catches, same exact spot in center field into the wall. And he's smiling about it. I mean, what a day he is having. And that is 2 hard-hit balls from Billy Amick and Dylan Dreiling, and it's kept Vergara active. He's not going to get any time off when he's not at the plate. That's 2 fantastic plays from Alex Vergara. Now Dean Curley, after 2 hard-hit line drives, caught out in center. Dean Curley will stand in with no one on and 2 outs. Cutts looking for a 3rd straight scoreless inning. He's gotten some good assistance from his defense, but now he's got some work to do with Curley. 3-0 count. Dean Curley's 0 for 2. And that pitch is inside and low. Curley, a 4-pitch walk. That's just the 3rd walk from Cutts up to this point. That's his first one in a while. He walked one in the first and then walked one in the second, but he's been pretty clean since then. 4 runs he gave up in the first 2 frames, back-to-back scoreless in the 3rd and 4th, and now really just a pitch away from a 3rd straight scoreless frame. He's got Reese Chapman, though, with the runner on. Curley at first now. Pitch home. Chapman, a home run cut. And he swung through it. 82 pitches now for Ryan Cutts, who's now pitched 4 2/3 of this ball game. Getting better as his start has progressed. The situation now is, if you're Lipscomb, you're in the middle of a of an ASUN race where you need to get to the postseason. What do you do after cuts? You were in a position, obviously, where you're in front, a chance to get a big win on the road here against a top 5 team. But you've got a series coming up at Central Arkansas. Starts Friday. And this game, obviously, you do wonders RPI-wise. But not going to help you get into the ASUN tournament. Counts 0-2 to Reese Chapman, battling with Ryan Cutts. Shift is on to the right side. They're holding Curley on at first. That pitch just misses. Off speed from Cutts. Chapman is 1 for 2. He singled back in the third. Curley on the move. That pitch is low. Throw down is not in time. In the tying run, in scoring position now with 2 outs. Stolen base number 8 for Dean Curley. That leads this Tennessee team. Well, more pressure now on Ryan Cutts. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Chapman, hard hit ball over to second. Bauk has it, throw to first. The scoop from Lundgren. And that's the 3rd out. Hard hit ball. Some spoiler on this Tuesday afternoon. 3rd-ranked Tennessee Volunteers are a perfect 11-0 in midweek games this season. But right now, through 5 innings, down a run. The Bisons, they've scored 4 unanswered from the 3rd inning till the 5th. Alex Vergara having a standout day, and now David Coppage, who also is having a standout day. He goes yard. A 3rd home run for the Bisons here this afternoon. Coppage now 3 for 3, and that's a no-doubter. Bisons by 2 runs here in the 6th. Didn't waste any time. Right to start the inning. Coppage, again, one of the hotter hitters in this lineup. Right into the porch. That is the 3rd home run for a Bison's hitter. The first one not from Alex Vergara, who has 2. Now it's 5 unanswered runs for Lipscomb. Offense is just on a tear. 8 hits, 6 runs, 3 home runs. And they lead the 3rd-ranked team in the country by 2. Jacob Tobias has done some damage as well. 2 RBI double for him in the 4th. He stands back in. Fresh inning now is what Andrew Binke has to be thinking of. No one out and no one on after the solo shot to lead off. And he hums one in there, strike 2, 2-2. Binke now, through 1 inning, has given up 2 runs and 2 solo home runs. The Bison's really good home run hitting team, but this has been an exceptional afternoon so far in Knoxville. As Tobias, tough play, shallow right field towards foul territory. Christian Moore has the best angle on it, and he's got it for out number 1. With 1 out on the board and no one on. And 8 and 9 due up. Bottom of the order for Lipscomb. Carter Ritchie, the designated hitter, will be the first Garcia faces. 0 for 2. Fly out and a strikeout on Ritchie's line so far. That's a half swing, poked out to second. Christian Moore easily makes the play for out number 2. A good start for Garcia, who in 6 prior outings has pitched 6 total innings, a 4.50 earned run average, and a good number, 11 strikeouts, no walks for Garcia. So he'll look to come in and throw strikes straight out of the bullpen. The sophomore from Statesville, North Carolina. Really good against Western Carolina in an inning last week. 3 strikeouts in the 1 inning he threw. Get another young arm in this Tennessee staff, just building up more and more experience. Now Parks Bauk, he is 0 for 2, a line out and then a strikeout. Chance to keep things moving for this Bison's offense. 6 runs on 8 hits so far, 3 home runs, and now Baux ignites one down the line. This one's way back, and that one's gone. A 4th home run for Lipscomb, 2nd of the inning. And Baux adds another to the Bison's lead. It's now 3 runs. You know, the saying is that solo home runs can't kill you, but for Lipscomb, I mean, that's exactly what they've been doing to this Tennessee staff. That one just down the line, a little baby bat flip there. It was hoping it stays fair, and it did. Not a lot of wind today. In fact, really no wind today. So normally that ball probably veering foul, but without the wind, that one stayed true. And Parks Bauk, the 9-hole hitter, is the 4th home run for the Bisons today. And now Alex Vergara again. This has been the guy for the Bisons so far. 3 for 3, a double, 2 home runs, and 2 catches at the wall. And now strike 2. Garcia looking to be the first to get Vergara out. Big inning again for Lipscomb. 6 unanswered runs for this offense. That's strike 3. Vergara goes down looking, and Garcia retires, the hottest hitter in this lineup. They're down 3 runs. The visiting Bisons from Lipscomb. And Kavaris Tears was scheduled to have a day off. You know, maybe it was in the plans for him to pinch hit anyways, but now with the score being what it is, coming down to it, Kavaris Tears now will take an at-bat. He steps in for Colby Backus, who is manning center field, who will finish his night 1 for 2. But now Kavaris Tears will get his midweek started. 1-1 start to him. Tears a .371 hitter, 14 home runs and 37 RBIs. He's been fantastic this season. He's been the typical cleanup man in this lineup. And Tears looks that one off. 2-1 count now. 3 hits for him, a double included in the series against Missouri's. 3rd on the team now in total average. Hits .351 in SEC play. He's got a big-time swing. We've seen that. But he's also done a great job of getting on base. Leads the team in walks, and because of that, leads this team in total runs scored. That 2-2's in there. Strike 3. As fresh pitcher into the game, Tanner Line. First batter face is a strikeout. That's the fastball from Tanner Line, and not wasting any time as the Bisons have to make the switch away from Ryan Cutts, who did a fantastic job there in the tail end of that start. He pitched 5 innings, 81 pitches. Gave up the 4 innings, the first 2, but then locked in and has kept Tennessee scoreless to the last 3 innings. So it's up to now Tanner Line to try to continue this Bison's advantage. Not going to be easy against a Tennessee offense that has been one of the best in the nation all year long. He'll go to Line, though, who's making his 11th outing of the year, a 10.20 ERA in 15 innings, 15 strikeouts and 8 walks on the year. Cannon Peebles is in, no one on and 1 down. Peebles is 0 for 2, a fly out and a ground out. That 2-1, that's up the middle. It's going to beat the shift. Cannon Peebles has a base hit here in the 6th. Peebles now 1 for 3. Just trying to jumpstart this lineup. No runs since the 2nd inning when Blake Burke had an RBI double, 2 RBI double. And Lipscomb has just ignited since then. 4 home runs as a team for Lipscomb, none so far for one of the best home run hitting teams in the nation. Haven't hit a home run since Thursday night against Missouri. That's a rarity for them. Dalton Bargo now back in. He has not gotten out yet. Walked and scored in the 2nd, and then Bargo doubled in the 4th. Runner on and 1 down. And pitch inside. There's some news, Tennessee baseball and the pros. Jordan Beck, longtime volunteer, called up to the Colorado Rockies today and then got his first Major League base hit in the 1st inning. So a good way to start his career, right away with the hit. And Jordan Beck is now featured in a string of volunteers to make that jump up to the professional level, make their MLB debuts. Saw Trey Lipscomb earlier this year with the Nationals. He is still up at that level. A lot of these guys members of that 2021 Omaha team and that 2022 team that was #1 in the nation for most of the year. Has been a Tennessee program that has now expected dominance over the last few years, and they've done that. 6 College World Series appearances, 2 in the last 3 seasons. Only team in the SEC that's done so. Here's a 2-2 for Bargo, fouled away. Two balls and 2 strikes to Dalton Bargo. That pitch just misses, a fastball from line. Now full count on the way. Top of the order is due up. A chance for Tennessee to put 2 on. Christian Moore on deck. Bargo goes down swinging. Big time get for Tanner Line. It's his 2nd strikeout now in the inning. And right now, momentum just all on Lipscomb's side. You just see that run. And Bargo just could not hang on, that high heat. And so now 2 outs, 1 on. Tennessee in jeopardy of making it 4 straight scoreless frames at the plate. It was 4 runs for Tennessee first 2 innings. Tanner Line picking up where Cutts left off. Throw down to first to check on Peebles. Catcher checking on the other catcher. Christian Moore looking for his first hit tonight. He reached base in the 1st and scored, and then a pair of flyouts now. Moore takes strike 1. Did not like the call. .379 average, 20 home runs, and 46 RBIs. Moore takes strike 2 on the fastball. You can sense a little frustration from Moore. Maybe some frustration across the board for this Tennessee offense. Out of their final strike of the inning here. 1-2 pitch. Moore, ground ball up the middle. Flip over to second. That's out number 3. Lipscomb ends the inning. Tennessee scoreless here in the 7th. It has been 6 unanswered for this offense. An impressive feat of power as well. 4 solo home runs, a real difference maker. A chance to continue to press forward, and they've been aided by solid pitching on the back end from Ryan Cutts, and then Tanner Line picked up for a solid scoreless frame. The Bisons well in command. And Tennessee is 11-0 in midweek games this season. They have 30 wins here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. That is the most out of any team in the country. They're 30-2 here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, but right now certainly on the ropes. Bisons are in command. It's going to take more offense from this Volunteer team, and then obviously this Tennessee bullpen trying to keep this Bisons lineup a bit quiet. It has been a struggle. Mason Lundgren will start us off in the inning, but Matthew Dallas sits him down fairly quick. A strikeout to start the seventh. Dallas, the freshman out of Memphis, will get Lundgren down looking. And a good start now to the seventh. That was Lundgren second in the lineup, and now 3-4 due up. Trace Wilhoit is 1 for 3, an RBI single back in the first. He put Lipscomb on the board early. Tennessee hasn't been tested late in these midweek games really all season, and now Wilhoit's aboard. That ball hit him from Dallas. The Volunteers have been pretty good under Tony Vitello in midweek games. 75-10 all time in the Tony Vitello era. One of those 10 losses, though, was to Lipscomb back in 2021, a 4-1 win for the Bisons. But it's been very rare that Tennessee loses a home midweek game. The Tony Vitello era lost to Boston College last season at home. Tennessee Tech has beaten Tennessee the last 2 years in midweeks. The Bison certainly threatening here in this final game of April. 2-0 start for Matthew Dallas, who's still getting settled. He struck out Lundgren and then hit Trace Wilhoit. So 2 different results. Dallas will now get the cleanup hitter Austin Kelly, who's 0 for 3. That 2-0 is in there. Fastball 91 for Dallas. This is outing number 13 for the freshman. 2.63 ERA in 13 2/3. 14 strikeouts, and then he's been working on the walks. 9 walks on the season. That 2-1's fouled back, so 2-2 coming up. Now Dallas pitched a third of an inning against Missouri in Game 1. Actually got the final out against the Tigers. Secure a 10-1 victory. That was his second outing in SEC play. He had pitched against Georgia earlier in the season. 2-2 on the move is Wilhoit. That ball's fouled away. Tony Vitello's got it. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes for Austin Kelly, the catcher looking for his first hit. Bison's 9 hits as a team. Dallas will look at first. It's Wilhoit who has 3 stolen bases. He is extra insurance at this point. It has just been complete momentum shift in Lipscomb's favor. Tennessee was up 4-1 going into the third. Bisons now lead at 7-4. Barely got a piece of that one, did Kelly. Tavares Tears has replaced Colby Backus out in center field, so Tears will roam dead central. 2-2. Dallas elects to go to first instead. Now here's the 2-2 from Dallas. Slat foul again. We'll do it once more. 2-2. A busy midweek slate as always. The SEC, Tennessee's opponent Florida on Thursday. Having a good battle with Florida Atlantic. The Gators lead 8-6 in the 7th inning. Georgia leading Kennesaw State in the 6th, 7-1. In control there. Missouri in command over Lindenwood, 3-1 in the 4th. Then A&M, Texas A&M in a battle with Tarleton State, 4-4 in the 4th. Another in-state battle raging on, Vanderbilt and Tennessee Tech. Tennessee Tech leads 1-0 early going in the 4th. 2-2 for Dallas. Will Hoyt on the move. That's strike 3. Throw down from Peebles. It's into center field. Will Hoyt will not move any further. He's on second now with 2 outs as Dallas gets the strikeout pitch, his second strikeout of the inning. Tennessee looking for their second, strike him out, throw him out of the game. Might have had him if it was on target. Oh, that got Will Hoyt in the helmet. That's why he did not run to third. And it might have ricocheted hard enough to where he wouldn't have even had a good attempt to get to third. You don't want to test Kavaris Tears' arm out in center. But a runner in scoring position now for Lipscomb. And Will Lee up to the plate. He's 0 for 2. He walked and scored back in the 4th. That is the lone time he's been on. And it's an 0-2 start for Matthew Dallas, trying to keep Lipscomb scoreless for the first time since the 2nd. It has been consistent offense for the Bisons. They've scored in every inning but one so far. Will Hoyt hopping around at second. Dallas firing home. It just misses, ball 1. Freshman Dallas is pitcher number 5 for Tennessee today. That 1-2's in there. 3 strikeouts for Dallas. His first inning of work, and he keeps Lipscomb off the board. Trying to get loose at the plate. They have not scored a run since the 2nd inning. They trail by 3 runs. But the bulk of this order is due up now in the 7th. Blake Burke, Billy Amick, and Dylan Dreiling all due to try to end this stretch that Lipscomb's gone on. It's 6 unanswered for the Bisons. Burke already has accounted for 2 RBIs and a double. He is 1 for 2 on his line. 4 straight scoreless frames from this offense, looking to get things rolling. 2 slow games. The back half of that Missouri series, just 6 runs combined. But still secured wins. Pitching staff did their job, defense did their job, but the Bisons, they have swung a good bat. Putting a lot of pressure on Tennessee as Burke goes the other way. A dive, a pick, a throw across the diamond. It's not there, gets away. Great effort from Coppage in no man's land, all alone left side. Burke's going to beat it out. An incredible effort as Coppage all alone down that left side. Shrugging off the shift, and he almost made the throw. Burke might have beaten it out regardless. It's going to go down as a single. Start this inning. So now Billy Amick, 1 on and no one out, and a big cut to start. And he swung through it. Amick this time last week had 2 home runs in the midweek win. He is 1 for 3 this afternoon, a single back in the 1st. Amick, off speed, crushed, into left center gap. It's way back, and it's going to 1-hop off the wall. Extra bases for Amick. Burke up to third. Volunteers, big-time start to the 7th. That is a hard hit ball into the gap. No chance that Vergara could grab this one out in center. Amick now multi-hit game. And now 2 in scoring position for Tennessee. Will bring the tying run to the plate here in the bottom of the 7th. Tanner Line, pair of strikeouts and a scoreless frame last inning, but now it's 2 hard hit balls, 2 base hits, and no outs. And for an offense as dangerous as Tennessee's, now it becomes decision time for Lipscomb. You're at a spot where you're 9 outs away from getting a road top 5 win. It's an in-state team, but also you can't exhaust, too much of your guys with an important series, Central Arkansas, starting Friday. It's just one of those midweek dilemmas. Just a conference with Tanner Line. Again, pitched a good inning in the 6th, and now is going to have to work out of some trouble. These Tennessee fans looking for some life. Can they find it here in the 7th? Dylan Dreiling is in. He already has an RBI today. He's 1 for 3. Says no to the first offering. Now Dreiling has been clutch in several opportunities this season. Just 1 for 9 in the Missouri series, but 2 home run game in the series against Kentucky. Some clutch hits in the LSU series. Counts 2-0 to start. This is the guy you want up in clutch situations. 49 RBIs. That's the team high. 3-0 start. First base is open with Dean Curley on deck. Have to expect Dreiling not to swing the bat here. He does take strike 1. And now he's ready to go. Line is in the strike column. Strike 2. Count now full. Fastball is called in the zone. And Line has worked things back full. Big moment here for Dylan Dreiling. He is the tying run here in this game. Full count pitch. That's low. Inside. Bases loaded for Tennessee. Still no one out. Bases are loaded for Tennessee. The freshman shortstop, Dean Curley. He had a situation like this in the first, and he grounded into a double play, and man, with the Bisons, love a similar result here. Curley's the go-ahead run. Tying run is on first here in the 7th, and Curley fouls one away. These are 2 regional teams in the Clemson Regional last year, Tennessee and Lipscomb, and this afternoon has had a regional type feel. Curley lays off the off speed. Count 1-1. Curley's 0 for 2. Shrugs off another. Curley very patient. 18 walks, 24 strikeouts. 11 walks and 9 strikeouts in SEC play. He's a tough one to strike out. That 2-1 smacked foul, hit well. Tanner Line searching for the first out here in this inning. Danger. Volunteers now looking for their first run since the 2nd inning. Curley on the ground. Could it be 2? Throw to second is in time. No play at first. Tennessee gets a run. They'll bring it back within 2. Dean Curley, good things happen when you put it in play. Blake Burke able to score from third. It was one of those situations where Will Hoyt had it at shortstop, and there's about 50 million different options of where he can go with the ball. A slight hesitation, thinking maybe I should go home, maybe I should go to third. There was no chance of getting Curley down the line. So Curley's aboard. Runners on the corners now for Tennessee. 1 out here in the 7th. Reese Chapman in. And he fouls one away. Still in a situation you hit one deep enough. Tennessee at least brings it back within a run with Amick at third. Chapman is 1 for 3. Single back in the third. I'll have to battle back down 0-2. Even though a run does score on that last play, be a deep breath for Line that you get that first out of the inning and that, hey, the bases aren't loaded anymore. Feels a little more manageable. That tying run still at first. It ends a 6 consecutive scoreless stretch for Lipscomb. Volunteers get their first run on the board since the 2nd inning. Back within 2. And that's strike 3. Chapman goes down looking. And a huge second out for Tanner Line.
Now batting the center fielder, number 21, Tavares here.
And that's a good pitch. Line, it's in the zone. And Chapman caught with the bat on his shoulders there with 2 strikes. And now Kavares Tears back in. It's going to take a base hit now to get Amick in from third. Now Dean Curley's got good speed over at first. You feel like anything in the gap, he might try to test it. That's a huge cut from Tears, and he couldn't grab it. Strike 1. And Tennessee had bases loaded with no outs. In jeopardy of only seeing one come home. Another big cut from Tears. You feel like trying to make a game-changing swing here, and he certainly can do that. But now he'll have to battle back. 0-2's the count. Line looking to get out of the inning. Got Tears swinging. Another huge strikeout for Tanner Line. Tennessee only with a run here in the 7th. They had bases business end. Lipscomb still in command by a pair of runs. 6, 7, 8 due up for Lipscomb. And this has been one of the best hitters in the lineup. David Coppage, 3 for 3, a single, a double, and a home run. Coppage right up the middle. 4 for 4 game for David Coppage. He's on fire. A single to start the 8th. That is hit number 10 for Lipscomb. Bisons have not messed around at the plate. And again, now the Bisons just 6 outs away from a major road upset. Here's Jacob Tobias back in. He's 1 for 3, a 2 RBI double for him back in the 4th. He'll take strike 1. Matthew Dallas is still on the mound. That's fouled away. Dallas with 3 strikeouts back in the 7th. He hit a batter, so he hasn't given up a hit until that leadoff from David Coppage. Again, he's pitcher number 5 for Tony Vitello tonight. Check over at first. Coppage with 3 stolen bases this year. He'll check it first. Dallas home on the 0-2. Strike three swinging. Tobias rung up strikeout number 4 for Matthew Dallas, who's been very sharp out of the bullpen. High heat, 92. Every out that Dallas has gotten have been with the strikeout pitch, and now runner on first. Get a ground ball here. Double play. Keeping him close over at first. Carter Ritchie is in. He's 0 for 3 looking for his first hit. Pitch home, ripped into the gap. That's going to get down, and it's a first hit for Carter Ritchie. Going to roll all the way to the wall. Kopich has some speed. He's going to round third. He's heading home. Lipscomb has another. They take that run right back. RBI for Carter Ritchie. Hit on a line and into the gap. And Kopich had the wheels at first. Not even a throw home. And that'll do it for Matthew Dallas. He got 4 strikeouts. His 15th appearance on the year. Snead, a sophomore out of Wisconsin, the righty, will take over now in the top of the 8th, with Tennessee trailing 8-5 to Lipscomb. He's going to get 9-hole hitter Park Spoke, second baseman who's 1 for 3, hit a home run back in the 6th inning. 1 of 4 solo shots. And that's 101 for Nate Snead. So a much different look now for the Bison. Snead has fantastic numbers. 44 in the 3rd innings thrown, 3.25 ERA, 35 strikeouts. And we'll look to try to quiet down this Bison's bunch. It has been very difficult. Offense has played a run in every inning but 2 so far. One run home already in the 8th. RBI double from Carter Ritchie. And that's 100 on the gun for Nate Snead. It's the first midweek outing for Nate Snead since early March against Kansas State. He's pitched primarily in SEC games. At 3-1. High chopper third base way. Amick barehands it, throw over. Did Burke scoop it? He did. Great play from Billy Amick at third. No glove needed. Snagged it, the high chopper. And Burke made the scoop on the other end. So that's 2 outs. It moves Carter Ritchie to third, and Snead just 1 out away from sending us to the bottom of the 8th. But he's got one of the tougher hitters in this lineup. And Tennessee elects to send him on first. No chance they want to go right back at Alex Vergara. He's 3 for 4 with 2 home runs. So Tennessee, a sign of respect to Alex Vergara, not wanting Lipscomb to add another run of insurance. They bring up Mason Lundgren. Lundgren's 0 for 3, no hits yet. That pitch to the backstop. Peoples having to hustle. Not in time as Ritchie scores. The Bisons add another run here in the inning. That's going to go down as a wild pitch. Nate Snead 100 miles an hour, just a bit out of control. And Ritchie easily stepping on home. Vergara to second. 1-1 start to Lundgren. Vergara now to second. Tennessee got one back a half inning ago, and now the Bisons have multiplied that effort. 2 more runs to the cause, making it harder on Tennessee with 6 outs to go. Counts 1-2. Got him swinging. That is strike 3 and out number 3. The throwdown won't matter. And that's the inning. Snead gets Tennessee out of the 8th. But 2 more runs for Lipscomb, and Christian Moore slated to hit here in the 8th. Volunteers down 4 runs. They have 5 runs on 9 hits. Tennessee led 4-1 all the way back in the 2nd inning. And then the Bisons have since outscored Tennessee 8-1. They have controlled the middle innings. Tennessee offense was hot early. Just haven't been able to get in a rhythm of late as Peebles, that is sky high in the infield. And that play is made by Lundgren, walks all the way over from first. That's out number 1. And Tanner Lyons done a great job out of the bullpen. 2 1/3 so far with 4 strikeouts, 3 hits, and only 1 run allowed. I mean, Tennessee had the bases loaded with no outs. Tying runs at first, no outs, and they only get 1 run out of it. Certainly had the opportunity last inning, could not cash in. And now Robin Villeneuve will get an at-bat. No one's on. And 1 out in the inning. First pitch is going to be strike 1. Villeneuve, .315 average, 5 home runs, and 22 RBIs. Trying to set the table for Christian Moore in the top of this Tennessee lineup. Volunteers down to their final 5 outs. You don't want to leave everything for the 9th. It's an offense that can score runs in a hurry. They're running out of real estate here. That's strike 2. There's Nicholas Catcher calling the balls and strikes. And that's strike 3 swinging. Tanner Lyons sits Villeneuve down on 3 pitches at fastball. That's just a hard one for Villeneuve to make contact with. That's up and in, and he's a bit late on it. 2 up, 2 down here in the 8th. Tennessee down to their final 4 outs tonight. Number 3 team in the country on the ropes. Christian Moore in. No one on and 2 down. Moore is 0-3. He's hit by a pitch and scored in the first, and then a pair of flyouts and a ground out on his line. And a 1-1 start. And Moore not happy with that call. And just frustrations. A couple of calls tonight, and then frustrations at the scoreboard at the moment. Home run type swing from Moore. Down to the final strike of the AB and inning. Tanner Lyons been great out of the bullpen. See what the Bisons elect to do in the 9th. Moore in the air. Will it stay in play? It's in foul territory, and it gets out. So new life for Christian Moore. Counts 1-2. Off-speed pitch, just misses. Count now even. Moore looking for that first hit tonight. And he's battling here. A chance to start a 2-out rally. You've got power portion of your lineup now. And Moore fouls off another. Look to a guy that can start a rally. This is the one. Fully under the lights now. Still a bit of sun. As Moore tries to make something happen here in the 8th. Fouled again. This has been quite the battle between Tanner Line and Christian Moore. Line is well above 50 pitches now at this point. He's been really good out of the bullpen. Can he hang on for one more out? Another 2-2. Moore down the line, but foul. This is a fantastic at-bat here for Moore. He is battling, knowing that this could be his last at-bat near this ball game, his last say. Two. That misses, ball 3. And Moore hung on for dear life for that decision. And it's a good take. Full count coming up. And Moore flies one in the air. Slams down his bat in frustration. As that's out number 3. Plays made by Vergara. And top of the 9th, Nate Snead back out looking to shut down the Bisons quickly so the offense can get back to work for Tennessee. On the ropes here. The 3rd-ranked team in the country. They have not lost a midweek game yet this season. The Lipscomb Bisons now 3 outs away. Would be their 3rd win over Tennessee in program history. 2nd in Knoxville, first since 2021. Beat Tennessee here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium 4-1 in 2021, and now in great position to do it again. It's a chopper from Will Hoyt. From shortstop Curley, a quick first out for Nate Snead and crew. We're moving through 3, 4, 5 of this lineup for Lipscomb. Austin Kelly will stand in next. He's 0 for 4. Snead already ready to go. Kelly on the ground. Moore has it. 2 down. Well, so far so good for Snead here in the inning. Just trying to get a quick frame and then look to the other end to see what Tennessee has. It's Blake Burke, Billy Amick, and Dylan Dreiling. So that's, certainly 3 guys that you feel confident in. Last time they were up, they all 3 got on base and loaded the bases up. So Tennessee has to put hope that those veterans can try to spark something in the 9th. But it really has just felt like the Bison's afternoon offense in just about every inning. Haven't been down 1, 2, 3 yet. Nate Snead trying to change that. And he does. Strike 3 looking. Nate Snead very... All right, bottom of the 9th. Tennessee down to their final 2 outs, or 3 outs, as the Bisons on the verge of a major upset. They'll turn to the right-hander Colin Witzke out of the bullpen, 3rd pitcher on the night for Lipscomb. The righty, he's a senior. And will step in a big spot, just needing 3 outs. Key bullpen arm for this team, his 16th outing, a 3.47 ERA in 23 1/3 innings. and 24 strikeouts in that time. He'll start with Blake Burke. Quick 0-2 start as Burke a massive swing. Burke is 2 for 3, a single, a double, and 2 RBIs on his line. Volunteers need him to get on base. And we're ready to go. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Burke fouls it away from Witzke. Shift is on for Burke. He's gotten a pair of hits to the left side, though, tonight. At 0-2, lined foul left side. Yeah, he's certainly shown he can hit it the other way. The Bison still putting the shift on anyways. One-two count now. That's 95 on the fastball from Witzke. Burke, Amick, Dreiling all due up this inning. Burke fouls one away. We'll do it again. Can expect some battles. This is the heart of the Tennessee order. Saw one with Christian Moore to close the 8th. Tennessee faithful hoping for a rally here in the 9th. Burke, it's in the air. It's hit high left field. Backing up is Tobias at the wall, and he's got it. Just short of the porches. A very menacing fly ball from Blake Burke. Balls to the mitt. Right there for Lipscomb, out number 1. So now Billy Amick, Tennessee down their final 2 outs. Colin Witzke gets the first here of this inning. Amick's 2 for 4. First pitch, he takes a fastball for strike 1. Single in the first, and then a double for Amick in the 7th. Count even, 1-1. Amick in the air, and that's foul. Strike 2. Witzke in command. Lipscomb have won 5 straight conference series, looking to secure this, take some momentum into Central Arkansas this weekend. Tennessee in 2 days' time will be in Florida. Amick, opposite way, hit well, right field, and that's gone. Amick sparks some life into the Volunteers. That's home run number 17 for Billy Amick. Volunteers back within 3. We'll see if they can bring some momentum off that swing. Opposite way, just right on the line. It's the first home run for Tennessee here tonight, as they avoid making it 3 straight games without a homer. Amick hoping it's not a little bit too late here. A solo shot puts Tennessee back within 3. And now Dylan Dreiling in. No one on and 1 down. Ball was 103 off the bat. Went 362 in distance. One count now for Dylan Dreiling. Dreiling hits one well. That's deep right center. Way back at the track and caught at the wall. Lee tracked it down, and Dreiling just missed what would have been back-to-back home runs. And that one just died right at the wall. It looked good off the bat. And it's out number 2, and now the Bisons just 1 out away. It's Dean Curley. Shift is on to the left side. Curley's 0 for 3. This Bison's dugout ready to explode. Number 3, Tennessee on the ropes here at home. 1-1 count now. And Tennessee looking right at their first midweek loss. 11-0 this season. That's strike 2. Would just be Tennessee's 3rd home loss this season. They've been so dominant at home in this home stretch. The Bisons have certainly been a threat all night long. And now a 1-2 pitch on the way. Just high. Count even. Bisons out of the shift now. 2 strikes. Curley trying to keep the inning alive for Tennessee. 3-2 now. Reese Chapman on deck. Volunteers need base runners here with 2 outs, no one on. Full count pitch. Got him swinging. The Bisons upset number 3 Tennessee. An in-state victory for Lipscomb. First midweek loss for Tennessee this season.